Hi friends, Vivian here with a very easy tutorial I'm preparing for Faber-Castell Design Memory Craft. I apologize because usually I really enjoy making narrated actual videos, but we just moved into a new house, into a new state, and I don't have my camera set up yet. So it's going to be a number of stills, very quick and easy tutorial sharing my profound love of gelatos. I have 3 detail shots here to share with you at the very beginning of the video of projects that came together very quickly using my gelatos in conjunction with embossing folders and dry embossing techniques. So you can get dry embossing folders from a variety of manufacturers. Here I have some from Sizzix, Cuttlebug, and the Paper Studio. And I'm going to show you some things that you can do with these to create some really interesting texture in a number of different styles for your paper crafting projects. Today it's going to be all about cards. For my first card project, I used this sort of twiggy dry embossing folder from Cuttlebug. I really love this one because it's quite natural and abstract, so you could use it just to incorporate texture in your various projects without having a specific theme. For this card, I used Coordinations cardstock, and you'll see as the video progresses that this is a really great type of cardstock to use for dry embossing techniques. So you cut your cardstock to the size you want it. You insert it into the folder and send it through your manual die cutting machine. I have a Sizzix Big Shot, and I send it through using the appropriate sandwich. And I used Coordinations here, but you can really use any nice sturdy cardstock for this type of effect. So you send it through your machine, and as you send it through, you hear that little crackle. That's always so wonderful as the paper takes the shape of the embossing folder. And once you send it through, you can sand the top surface, the raised surface, which is what I did here. I used a little cheap sanding block from Home Depot. Then I went over it. This truly is a dry technique in this first project because I just rubbed a butterscotch gelato on top, and then a chocolate gelato along the edges, and then a coconut gelato in the general central area. And this is the final effect. It's very rustic looking, and I love it. It's a great way to quickly incorporate texture, and you've got your gelatos in that little stick form, which is so convenient. So I backed this card project with another piece of color cardstock, and I just sanded that one prior to adhering my textured dry embossed piece. And then I embellished with some fibers, cream mesh actually, from Really Reasonable Ribbon that I had ripped up into little shreds, and rubbed a butterscotch, that same butterscotch gelato on top to get it to coordinate with my card project, which is just wonderful. And I embellished finally with a leather bloom that I had for a really long time. It's from Prima, that ended up going really nicely with this rustic type of card. It's feminine in sort of a jeans and cowboy boots kind of way. So I was really excited about this one. For the second card project I'm going to share with you today, we're going to combine dry embossing with some heat embossing. The heat embossing will act as a resist and create a little bit more of a grungy effect using our gelatos. For this project, you are going to first start out by loading up one side of your embossing folder with Watermark ink. This is a clear, very sticky ink that will adhere with the embossing powder we apply later. You can play around with which side of the folder you want to do that with. Send it through the machine with your cardstock. This is just a nice sturdy piece of white cardstock. And this was the Paper Studio embossing folder with some really funky flourishes. So that sticky Watermark ink is on there. So when you sprinkle clear embossing powder, this one is from Hampton Art, on top, it adheres to all the sticky spots. And you want to tap off the excess and then set your heat tool on it and watch as those crystals transform into a little resist. It's a glisteny resist, which is more intense in some areas than in others. After that, I went over the top with a Guava gelato. And after that, I chose certain areas to add some Lavendar gelato. And then after that, I went along the edges with a Grape gelato. And to blend, I just took a wet towel and rubbed it all over. And as you can see, there are areas that resisted that media. Those areas are the areas where we had heat embossed with the clear embossing powder. And then I added my embellishments, some Plum Organza from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and a metal focal image, Do What You Love is what it says, from Making Memories. And see how that glistens in the sun? It's a funky, youthful card. For my third project, I just wanted to share with you, if you didn't know already, that you can use your gelatos as a distress. I call it distress in a stick. Here I went along the edges with a black licorice gelato, just really randomly, and then rubbed it in with a slightly damp foam brush. And you have your distress. It's a very easy, handy form. I sent this piece through my die cut machine with the Sizzix Bingo folder, and then I just sanded off the top. And I ended up with a very suede-like feeling project. It really felt like suede. And I distressed the edges just a little bit more with that black licorice gelato and rubbed it in with my finger. Very, very convenient and in a nice, handy, clean stick. Great, great way to add distress without having to reach for an ink pad and a blending tool. So I chose to embellish this card project in really pure white. I used some pearl bling from Prima and faux canvas and leaf trim from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and a beautiful pearl heart in the center of a metal embellishment to create a little love nest that I've been making quite a lot of recently. I just love wrapping that stuff up and placing something in the center to have a little love nest. In addition, I added some metal snaps that I had gotten wholesale in the Fashion District in downtown Los Angeles. Well, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I sure hope you will. My channel on YouTube is Contadina K, and I'm pretty sure that my studio will be set up enough by the time I make my next video to have action for you. And if you haven't gotten enough inspiration, please visit me at my blog. It's contadinak.wordpress.com. Thanks so much for watching. I hope I was able to inspire you and share with you some really easy ways you can use your gelatos to create fast, interesting texture on your card projects. See you next time and have a great day. Bye.